This is Your Magnetic Purpose podcast, a new season focused on creativity and connection. We'll use tools like human design, tarot, and astrology, and see what happens when you let your natural rhythm lead. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Your Magnetic Purpose. In the last 2 episodes, we talked about how connection works and how relationships form and why certain people feel the way that they do in your life. But today, we're going to narrow it in. Since we are coming up to Valentine's Day, this episode, we are going to talk about the love gates in human design. The love gates describe how love actually registers for you and what makes you feel connected to somebody and what helps your body relax into a relationship. It's about understanding what your body already knows, but you maybe don't have a language for. Because love gates are practical. You can see them working in every single relationship that you have right now. Every chart carries specific love gates. These gates shape how we feel when a connection is real in the moment. They show up in how you attach and what makes you feel close to somebody. When love is expressed in a way that matches your gates, connection feels steady. But when it isn't, something feels off, even if it looks good on the surface. Now, there are 10 specific love gates within a human design chart, and they shape the way that we connect. If you're a vessel of love like myself, these gates will make up a huge part of your lived experience. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the vessel of love is an incarnation cross. And if you want to know what your incarnation cross is, just head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com. You can download your chart and it will tell you on there. But let's take a little bit of a deeper dive to kick in with. So gate 10 carries the energy of being deeply at home within yourself in a relationship. This gate teaches us that love is strongest when it's lived from a place of self-trust rather than self-adjustment. When gate 10 is active, connection feels steady because it's rooted in authenticity. People with this gate love by showing up who they are. And there's an ease in how they connect because it's coming from them and not a need to perform or a way to manage how they're perceived by others. Their presence feels honest because it's consistent, and their affection feels sincere because it's completely embodied. They do not shift who they are in order to be loved, and that integrity becomes one of the most grounding qualities that they bring into a relationship. This gate carries an intuitive awareness that feels correct when it is in love, and that awareness is physical rather than intellectual. The body knows when a relationship supports their natural way of being, and when it does, it softens into it and opens up without effort. The love can flow because nothing needs to be negotiated, and it is all coming from a genuine place. In partnership, gate 10 brings a stabilizing energy. They offer reliability through self-respect. They're not trying to merge or disappear into the relationship. They remain connected to themselves, which really allows them to bond and feel clear and trustworthy. Their partner always knows where they stand because their energy is not fluctuated based on approval or reassurance. Gate 10 also carries a quiet teaching within. When two people are allowed to remain fully themselves, intimacy deepens naturally. The connection becomes less about effort and more about presence. Love feels grounded because it's not built on compromise of the identity. When this gate is present in a relationship, love becomes something that is lived day to day rather than analyzed or performed. It feels real and it feels stable. The connection grows through mutual respect and the freedom to exist honestly together. This kind of love is the kind that doesn't ask you to leave yourself behind. It invites you to stay and show up fully as who you are. And then we have Love Gate 15, and this carries the energy of acceptance and rhythm within the relationship. This gate loves through allowing. It understands that people move at different speeds and that they need different amounts of space within their relationship so that they can express themselves in their own timing. Love here is spacious because it doesn't try to control how the connection unfolds. And people with this gate will bring a wide emotional tolerance into love. They can hold differences of opinions without needing to fix anything, and they're able to stay connected even when the rhythms don't perfectly match up. Their devotion shows up as patience and flexibility and a genuine respect for how the other person moves through life. This gate is deeply attuned to rhythm. It's not just like your daily routines, but an emotional pacing. In relationships, gate 15 feels the safest when there's room for the ebbs and flows of life. When love is allowed to breathe and then settle. When connection becomes a little bit too rigid or demanding, something is going to change within that connection of gate 15. And gate 15 loves making space. They allow for moods to pass, they allow phases to change, and they allow relationships to evolve without forcing consistency where there doesn't naturally exist consistency. This creates a bond that feels alive rather than managed. And in partnerships, gate 15 brings a quiet steadiness that is acceptance. They don't need their partner to feel the same every single day in order to stay connected. They understand that love moves in cycles, and this awareness creates emotional safety because nothing has to be held perfectly to be held lovingly. This gate also carries a really deep compassion for the human complexities. Gate 15 sees people as a whole rather than an idealized person. In love, this means that they stay present through contrast and change, and the relationship feels grounded because it's built on the realism rather than expectation. When gate 15 is active in connection, it feels very humane. There's room for difference, and there's room for rest, and there's room for movement. Love grows because it's not needing to be restricted into being one way. And this gate really teaches us that intimacy deepens when rhythm is honored. When each person is allowed to move at their own pace, love becomes a lot more sustainable and it is much, much more honest and it feels really alive. And then there's Love Gate 25, and this carries the energy of open-heartedness in relationships. It is such a sweet gate. This gate loves without any agenda, and it brings a quality of sincerity that feels clean and uncomplicated. Love here is offered freely, and it's a really innocent love. You don't need to earn this person's love because this love is very true and very pure. People with Gate 25 connect through presence and acceptance. They meet others exactly where they are without others needing to show up and be something else. They are genuine and their willingness to stay open is even their most vulnerable, but their sweetest and purest kind of connection in the relationship. Love feels spacious around them because it's not conditional. This gate carries a deep trust in the heart. And in a relationship, Gate 25 feels the safest when it's allowed to be honest and uncluttered. They do not want consistent reassurance or proof. They need sincerity. They want connection that is real, and they want to be able to relax into it fully. Gate 25 loves by keeping the heart open. Even when relationships move through difficult times, this gate holds the belief in the goodness of humanity. Their love is not hardened easily, and it stays soft because it's rooted in faith rather than fear. In partnership, Gate 25 brings emotional purity. It does not mean that it's naive, it just means that they approach love with acceptance and a clean slate. They're willing to begin from the heart rather than carrying resentment forward with them. And this creates a relationship that feels really forgiving. And there's a lot of room for emotional breathing and a lot of kind of deep healing, really. This gate also carries a quiet strength. Staying open takes a lot of courage. And gate 25 models this kind of love and that it doesn't need to protect itself through distance or control. Instead, it trusts connection and allows for intimacy to deepen naturally. When Love Gate 25 is active, it feels gentle and sincere. The love is not transactional. It is a lived experience, and it is really felt in the presence and the honest meeting of the hearts. The bond feels grounded because it's built on trust rather than strategy. This gate teaches us that love grows when the heart is allowed to remain open and when connection is rooted in compassion. It becomes resilient, steady, and really deeply human. And then there's gate 28, and this carries the energy of meaning in a relationship. This gate needs love to matter. The connection is not a casual encounter for them, but is something that they want to believe in and commit to with full intention. When love has purpose, they feel really present. People with gate 28 bond through depths. They are willing to face difficulty when their relationship feels meaningful. Their devotion shows up as emotional courage. They do not need to shy away from challenges if it's going to lead to something real. This gate experiences love as a question of worth. They are consistently sensing whether the connection has substance, and when the relationship feels aligned with their deeper values, they can relax and invest into it. In partnership, gate 28 brings an intensity, and they want to know that a relationship stands for something far beyond just comfort or convenience. Love feels the safest to them when they get to share a sense of purpose, even if the path isn't easy. Gate 28 also carries a deep respect for struggle when it leads to growth. They understand that meaningful connection is not always going to be smooth, but what matters is the effort that is in the value. When both partners are willing to face life together, that is when trust deepens. This gate teaches us that intimacy is something that is meant to be worked for and that connection is rooted in purpose. It becomes resilient, it becomes grounded, and it is worth standing up for. Next is Love Gate 40. This energy shows up through devotion and effort. This gate loves to follow through and do what they say they're going to do. And love feels real to them when they are living in a practical way. People with gate 40 bond through commitment that is chosen, not what's assumed. They give deeply when they feel respected and appreciated. Their devotion shows up by proving, protecting, and holding responsibilities for the relationship. And when their effort is seen, they soften and they open. This gate has a strong relationship to boundaries around energy. Gate 40 needs a period of rest in order to continue giving from a full place. In love, they feel most connected when there's an understanding around them of the rhythm and effort. And when the rhythm is honored, that is how trust deepens. In partnership, Gate 40 brings stability. They do not offer love lightly, but when they do, it is very dependable. This gate also carries an unspoken expectation about mutual respect. They are willing to work for the relationship, but they need to feel that their contribution matters. When they are appreciated, their devotion becomes steady and very, very generous. When this gate is active, relationships feel solid and trustworthy, and love is expressed through actions. This gate teaches us that love deepens when contribution is recognized. When care is acknowledged and rest is respected, love becomes something sustainable and grounded and deeply, deeply reliable. And then there's Love Gate 41. This carries the energy of emotional beginnings in a relationship. It's that little like butterfly in the tummy. It's the gate that holds the spark of desire before it becomes experienced. And in love, the connection starts internally and then it moves into the imagination. It creates an emotional readiness. Love here feels rich because it begins with a feeling rather than actions, unlike gate 40. And then people with gate 41 bond through anticipation. There is a sense that something meaningful is about to begin, and they honor that inner timing. This gate is expressed through cycles. Desire builds, it softens, and then it builds again. And in partnerships, gate 41 feels most at ease when emotional movement is allowed to unfold naturally. Gate 41 brings emotional depth to the relationship by honoring the beginnings of the feelings. They are understood that not every emotional need is immediately expressed and that some feelings need time to mature before they can come to fruition. In love, gate 41 offers sincerity. They do not engage halfway. When they're ready to commit, they commit fully and emotionally. When this gate is active, relationships feel purposeful and emotionally alive. The connection deepens through shared anticipation and emotional and mutual readiness. This gate teaches us that intimacy begins before action even takes place. And when that emotional readiness is respected, love can grow with a lot of intention and a lot of depth. And then gate 44 carries the energy of recognition in a relationship. This gate senses connection through memory and instinct. In love, an immediate awareness of what feels known and trustworthy happens. Bonding shows up in an unspoken sense of history, even if the relationship is new. It's almost like you know that you've met this person a million lifetimes before, or you meet someone and instantly there's that like familiarity to them. People with gate 44 connect by recognizing patterns in others. They intuitively feel what's worked before and what hasn't. Their devotion shows up as loyalty and a strong sense of desire to build on what feels proven. This gate experiences love as it's something to grow through continually. And gate 44 feels the safest when a relationship has a rhythm of relatability and flexibility. In partnerships, gate 44 brings grounded awareness of what's supposed to have longevity. They are attentive, but they also are listening to the subtle cues for emotional history. This can show up as them protecting the bond by steering it towards what feels sustainable, and their presence creates a sense of security because it's informed and very, very intentional. Gate 44 also carries a deep respect for loyalty. They value commitment and they want it reinforced through actions rather than promises alone. When this gate is active, relationships feel steady and rooted, and love grows through experiences. This gate teaches that intimacy strengthens through remembrance, and when the past is honored and trust is built gradually, this love becomes durable and very deeply grounded. And then we have gate 46, which carries the energy of embodiment in a relationship. This gate experiences love through presence and lived experience. The connection feels real when it's happening in the body and in the day-to-day life. And it's shared in moments rather than ideas about what love should be. People with gate 46 often bond through participation. They feel the closest when they are doing life together and moving through spaces together. Their devotion shows up as them just being there. And love is expressed through shared time, touch, and the feeling of being in the right place together. This gate trusts that life will bring connection where it's meant to be. In relationships, gate 46 relaxes when love unfolds naturally rather than being forced or too far ahead planned. This gate brings a grounded ease into the love. They do not expect consistent definition or explanation. What matters is how the relationship feels when it's being lived together. And when the experience feels supportive and real, they can really settle into this relationship with trust. And in a partnership, Gate 46 offers a steadiness through presence. Their partner often feels anchored by this energy because it brings attention back to what is real and what's tangible. When the Love Gate 46 is active, relationships feel embodied and sincere. Love grows through shared experiences rather than expectations. This gate is here to teach us that intimacy is something that you live inside. When love is allowed to be experienced fully and right where you are, it becomes grounded, nourishing, and deeply, deeply supportive. And then Love Gate 55. This energy is emotional truth in a relationship. This gate experiences love through feeling. The connection deepens when emotions are allowed to be moved through honestly without pressure to be fixed or explained. People with Gate 55 bond through emotional presence. They feel deeply and very authentically. They need a lot of space for those feelings to exist just as they are. And their devotion shows up as emotional honesty and willingness to stay connected through changing inner landscapes. This gate understands that emotions have seasons, and in relationships, Gate 55 feels the safest when there's permission for mood, sensitivity, and a lot of emotional depth. This gate brings richness into love by allowing feelings to lead. They don't want to just experience intimacy as something that's static. They want something that breathes and evolves over time. And in partnership, they are not interested in surface level connection. They want love that can hold depth and nuance. When Gate 55 is active in your relationship, it feels emotionally alive and expressive. Love becomes something that is felt deeply and is shared very openly. This gate teaches us that intimacy grows when the feelings are trusted, when emotions are allowed to live freely, and when they're honored. And then we have Love Gate 58, and this carries the energy of joy. It is vitality in a relationship. This gate loves life and it wants to feel alive when it's connected. People with Gate 58 bond through enthusiasm and shared momentum. They love being a natural optimist, and in a relationship, they have desires to make things better over time. Their devotion shows up as encouragement and engagement. This gate experiences love as something that it improves over time with care and attention. And in a relationship, Gate 58 feels the most aligned when there is a sense of forward movement. This gate brings emotional brightness into love, and the presence often lifts the overall tone of this connection. In a partnership, Gate 58 offers resilience. They believe in improvement and that anything is possible. They're willing to stay engaged and contribute energy when they feel that their efforts are supported to something meaningful. And when Gate 58 is active in your relationship, it feels positive and sustaining. Joy is not just superficial here, it is rooted in care and attention. This gate teaches us that intimacy deepens when love supports vitality. When a relationship feels nourishing and alive, the connection becomes steady and it deepens and it's very hopeful. It's a very beautiful love. So as you can see, in relationships, the love gates really shape what feels nourishing to us. One partner may need recognition of self, another might need a shared direction, and a different one could really need that emotional depth in a relationship. And when the love gates are understood, the relationship can really soften. The expectations become really clear, and people feel less pressure to perform, and they can love in ways that feel familiar to them. And the love gates, they also show up in our ways that we work and in our creative projects. Some people love their work through mastery, some love it through collaboration, some through purpose, and some through contribution. Understanding your love gates helps you to choose projects that feed you. And it helps you to understand why certain work feels meaningful, while other stuff just really doesn't land with you. And this is especially important for creatives. When love gates are honored, creativity really gets the opportunity to flow. Many relationships struggle, and it's not out of a lack of love. It is out of the misunderstanding of love. One person may be offering love through loyalty, and the other one may be seeking love through emotional expression. But when the love gates are unnamed, people feel unseen. But when you can understand the love gates in your chart or your partner's chart, the connection really deepens. This connection gives us a field, and the channels give us the structure. But the love gates, this gives us meaning to everything. So if we want to integrate everything that we've learned in these last 3 episodes, connection gives us the field, the channels give us the structure, and the love gates gives us the meaning. Together, they all tell a story about how love works as a lived experience. This is not about finding the perfect relationship. It's about understanding the ones that you're in and choosing them every day. This is exactly why I offer the connection report. Because when you can see love gates in your chart, love stops being confusing and you can really see the ways that you honor and need love. It doesn't even need to be like a romantic love. It could be business, it could be a creative endeavor, or it could just be a personal friendship or relationship. When we look at how love is expressed and how it's received, you can work with it with intention. So if you head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com, go to the downloads page, and you will find the relationship chart that I'm speaking of and the report. You can pull your chart, you can do it for your love interest, for your partner, for your business partner, even for a creative project that you hope to bring to life. Because when 2 individual charts are pulled, they create a new chart that has a very specific dynamic to that relationship. So this series was an invitation to see connection more clearly, again, with Valentine's Day coming up. And it is a great way to trust how love moves through you. Thank you again for being here, and I hope that you'll head over to Your Magnetic Purpose, sign up for the newsletter, and if you want to stay up to date with everything that we're doing, it comes out monthly, and it's a really great resource for human design, astrology, and tarot. So until next time, stay safe, and I will see you in the next episode.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. For more resources and tools to explore human design, tarot, and astrology, head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com and book a live one-on-one reading or download your free chart. Remember, the more that you align with your purpose, the more opportunities you attract.